Do you want to be a private class ESL teacher? Aha! This video is for you because on this two-part video, I will be sharing with you everything you need to know to be a private class teacher. From the salary, your responsibilities, your tools, the contract, everything. So, I just want to set your expectations that being a private class teacher has its own pros and cons. And those are the things that we're also going to be covering for today's video. If you're interested, please continue watching. Oops. And just to add, if you're just getting started as a private class ESL teacher, it's important that you also have a stable source of income, either your full-time job that could be not related to ESL or your full-time ESL job, just like what I do. I'm with Native Camp at the same time I do private tutoring. So, if you want to be a part of Native Camp, don't forget to send me an email at askteachakaren@gmail.com and use my email address as the referrer. I'm going to be helping you get into this wonderful company as well. So, for real, let's get started. Must know number one, salary. I'm sure, Teacha, this is your favorite. That's why I'm going to be talking about it first. So, here's the thing our students would be all over the world, could be from the Philippines, could also be from China, Korea, from European countries, from Russia. It's important that when you are setting your salary, you set it in Philippine peso because you do not want your salary to be affected by, changes in exchange rates. Let's say if your salary is 40 RMB or 40 yuan, that's the currency in China. What if the exchange rate, let's say becomes lower? Well, right now it's around 7.88 pesos is to 1 yuan. What if it becomes lower, like 6.88 was its lowest, if I'm not mistaken? What if it becomes lower like that? So it'll affect your salary. So every time you send a quotation to a parent or to a student, always set it to Philippine pesos. And then you could like give them a guide. For example, the exchange rate to peso to yuan would be this one. Then this would be what you would have to pay in RMB or yuan. So let's talk about how much you should actually quote for your services. So the first thing that you should consider is how long your class should be. Is it a 25-minute class, a 40-minute class, or a 50-minute class? Is it an hour or two? Because your time is basically what they're paying for. So, here in the Philippines, if you are employed by an ESL company, your salary range for a 25-minute class could be as low as 38 pesos for 25 minutes to, let's say, 200 or 250 pesos per 25-minute class. And that is you being employed by an ESL company. So, of course, when you are doing private classes, you do not want to set a price as low as what? 38 or 45 pesos for 25-minute class. Because teacher, know that as a private teacher, a private tutor, you have more responsibilities. You don't have a company that's providing the materials, the tools, the lesson plan. You don't have the company that provides the students. You don't have the company that manages your schedule. So you have more responsibility. And if you think that it's easy to be a private tutor, it's not. You have to be a responsible, a credible, and a trustworthy teacher. So, how much should you set? Okay, here's the thing. Some teachers, they quote 8 RMB. That's roughly, okay, I am terrible in math, so I'm going to pull up a calculator here. So some teachers, they quote 8 RMB or 8 yuan for a 25-minute class. So how much is that? Let's multiply by 7.88. Okay, 60 pesos, 60 to 63 pesos for a 25-minute class. Teacher, I am not saying that you are wrong to quote 8 RMB, but what I'm trying to say is that what your time is worth? Is that what your talent is worth? Is that what more responsibilities, more tasks, more to dos, more admin and management tasks is worth just 63 pesos? Because as an ESL teacher, employed by a company, they are basically spoon feeding us. All we have to do is teach. But as a private tutor, you do everything on your own. So, with that being said, after doing everything on your own, are your services just worth 63 pesos for every 25 minutes? You have to think about that. Think about your worth. Remember, I am Teacher Karen, and all I'm asking is for you, Teacher, to realize how much you are worth, how much everything inside this beautiful brain of yours is worth. You have to realize that it's not just worth 60 pesos. No, in my opinion, teachers should charge at least 200 pesos for a 25-minute class because again, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You have more responsibilities, right? So, I'm not forcing you to, set a higher rate for your services. I'm just making you realize the importance of doing so because you have more work to do. And also, to teachers who are setting their price at 60 pesos, 63 pesos per 25-minute class, you're actually pulling down the market value of Filipino teachers. You're like saying, you're like communicating to your students that okay, if there are teachers who can give their class for this amount, 60 pesos, then okay, I can get teachers who are willing to accept this. So I'm not going to be getting teachers who charge more than 60 pesos. You are ruining the market value. You are also making us seem as if we are not competent, that we are worth very little. So I just want you to realize that that is what you are communicating. We are Filipinos. We are very good in English, and I know that we are very good teachers. If you would like to uplift this job and make other people see that it's a noble job, it's an honorable job, and not just something that's so easy to do, not something that everyone can do, then you better set your price right. For must know number two, your responsibilities as a private tutor. So I've mentioned already that we have more responsibility as private tutors. All the lesson planning, all the assessments, you have to do that. So let's start off with your first responsibility. Your first responsibility is number one, to be able to accurately diagnose or assess your students' language level. You have to know, are they beginners? Are they intermediate learners? Are they advanced learners? What is their CEFR level? What exactly do they need from their teacher? What exactly do they need to work on? And what are their goals? You have to know that those in the beginning. And how do I do that? I usually have a test class with my student. I offer it for free if it's only less than 15 minutes, but if it's beyond that, I charge my usual rate for my classes. So on those 15 minutes, I do my diagnostics. Okay, I determine what's my student's level, and what does my student need. Does she need to work on her reading skills, her pronunciation, her grammar, her vocabulary? And after doing so, that's when I recommend a book. Okay. And speaking of book, that's actually your second responsibility. Have a wide variety of materials for your students so that you could choose an appropriate book based on their needs and wants. Yep. You do consider your students' needs. Do they need to work on their pronunciation, vocabulary, and so on? Their wants. What's their goal? What's their personal goal? Do they want to learn more about National Geographic? Do they want to learn about everyday conversation, and so on. So, all of those, you have to make the recommendation. The next one would be you would have to manage your timekeeping. You have to be very good with your timekeeping because when your student says that they're available on this time, no matter what, you teacher should never cancel. Not unless it's an emergency, of course. You should never cancel because you have to respect your student. You have to make them feel that you're a professional. So, actually, for one of my students, I forgot that I had a class with him. So I ended up plotting my schedule on my ESL company. So what did I do? I ended up canceling my schedule from my ESL company so that I will be able to maintain a good and professional relationship with my private class student. So that's how important professionalism and reliability is. So you better Be responsible when it comes to your timekeeping. Next up, you also have to do assessments or tests. Let's say after a few lessons, after 5 or 10 lessons, you have to have like an achievement test or a unit test for you to be able to assess if your student was able to meet the learning goals and if your student was able to retain everything that you have taught. All of these you have to manage on a single file. You have to know the student's name, profile, and so on. You have to know their present status, what book they've already completed, and so on. So again, let me go back to the previous point. If you just want to charge 63 pesos for a 25-minute class or less, let's say 50 pesos for a 25-minute class, this would be the things that you have to do. Are all of these worth 50 pesos, teacher? You have to think about it again. Must know number three, students. So, a lot of you have been asking how to get students. Or some Filipinos would say, pengen naman ng student, share mo naman yung student mo, which in English means, oh, please share your students with us. Oh, if you have extra students, oh, please share it with us. Please share your contacts with us. But here's the mindset, teacher. As someone who's self-employed, as a private teacher, you are also a business. You're a business. You are selling your services. Do you think it's the right move to, you know, have your customers go to another business or choose another business? It doesn't make sense, right? If let's say you open a sari-sari store or a restaurant, you want as many customers as possible because it helps your business. It's not like you say, "Oh, hey customers, maybe you'd like to try this other restaurant. They also serve good food. You can now leave my restaurant and try them." Right? It does not make sense. So, teachers, if you are one of the people who are commenting, "Oh, please share your students with us. Oh, why are you not sharing your students with us?" It's simply it's simply because this is a business, right? This is our employment. So having students is not easy. It takes time. It takes time to get students. And how do you get students? It all starts with having a good relationship with your student from your ESL company, right? I'm not asking you to steal students from your ESL company. My God, no. That's not what I do as well. Let's say from your previous ESL companies, you're going to be leaving that company, and for some reason they got your contact information, they got in touch with you. They can be your private class students as well because they love how much you taught them. They love your teaching skills. But teacher, I'm not saying that you should steal students. That's a big no-no. But if you have a good relationship with a student and they really want to be, your teacher for good or for the longest time, they may end up asking for your contact information, and it all starts there. You have to have like a good social circle with lots of parents, lots of students knowing that you're a great teacher, and then they're going to be just spreading the news through word of mouth. That's how powerful word of mouth is, because if you make one student happy, they're going to be sharing it with their friends. But if you make one student unhappy, they're going to say 10 of their friends how terrible of a teacher you are and that they should never ever book your classes anymore. So with that, other things that you could do to have more students would be, of course, through social media. You could post on Facebook. In my case, my YouTube channel is also an instrument to get private students. Uh, you could also have a reliable WeChat and QQ account. I'm not a QQ user, but other teachers they get students from QQ as well. You can also post information online, like on LinkedIn. LinkedIn could help you get some European students because they know that you are an ESL teacher. You could also post on, let's say, Preply or other like independent ESL companies where it's like a booking system. Your profile is just posted to the students, and if they want you, then they're going to be booking your class. So those could be other options as well. But again, what's important here is for your existing social circle, if they're going to be referring you to their friends to be their teacher, you have to give them a referral perk. For instance, my referral perk is if you get to refer a student to me, I'll give you free additional one or two classes because you referred me. Or you can also give them a discount, a referral discount. You refer me to a friend and I'll give you this X number of discount. So you just have to be more creative and you have to slowly grow your business. You have to slowly make yourself known to the world. That's why, to those of you who are planning to be a private tutor, do not resign from your full time job and just hope that somebody signs up for your services. No, I highly recommend that you work for an ESL company if you're an ESL teacher or any company may not be related to ESL, then use private tutoring as a side hustle. Then eventually as you grow and grow your business, you can make it into a full-time job. And mind you, teaches some private class teachers, they actually earn a lot. Let's say in Philippine pesos, 50 to 100,000, 50 to 150,000 a month. When it comes to filing your taxes, it's basically your responsibility, of course. And teacher, this ends the first part of everything you must know to be a private class tutor. On the next video, please stay tuned because I'll be sharing with you the modes of payment, the teaching platform, what you could use for free to run your private classes, where to get the materials, how to prepare your contract. All of those things I'll be covering on the second part, so please stay tuned. It's just that for this part, I prioritized what you really are dying to know, which is the salary and where to get your students. So let's start with those three pieces of information. And then moving on to the second part, I'll be sharing with you the rest of the things that you must know. And teacher, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Teacha Karen, and comment below if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that. And of course, to those of you who'd like to be a native camp teacher, again, you could send me an email at askteachakaren@gmail.com. And don't forget to use my email address as your referrer. That's the least that you could do for me. And to my future students who'd like to sign up for private classes with me, all you have to do is send me an email as well. And I'll do my best to respond to you as soon as I can. To every one of you watching this, always be a blessing to the people around you. Bye bye.